All right, we're about to jump into a powerful story that's around 2,000 years old. It's about a man who waited an incredible 38 years for a miracle. But here's the twist. What if his paralysis wasn't even his real sickness? In this explainer, we're going to unpack an interpretation that really gets to the heart of what it means to suffer, to hope, and to be truly, completely healed.
So here's the journey we're going to take. First, we'll set the scene by looking at two worlds colliding, a party and a pool. Then we'll really try to feel the weight of that 38-year wait. After that, we get to the heart of it, what was really wrong with him. From there, we'll see the command that changed everything, explore this idea of obeying before you even understand, and finally, see what healing for the whole person actually looks like.
Okay, so our story kicks off in Jerusalem. But here's the thing. It's like we're looking at two different worlds, living and breathing right next to each other. And this contrast? It's the key to understanding the whole story. Picture this. On one side, you've got this massive party, a festival. There's joy, celebration, community, music. It's vibrant and full of life. But then, literally steps away, you have this pool, the Pool of Bethesda. And it's the complete opposite. It's just a sea of suffering, sickness, desperation, people just waiting. Two completely different realities right on top of each other. And this is where it gets really interesting. Jesus is heading to the party, right? But he makes a choice. Instead of going straight to the celebration, he deliberately takes a detour right through the heart of all that pain. It's like he chooses the entrance of suffering to get to the party. So in this crowd of hurting people, Jesus zooms in on just one guy, a man who, for pretty much his entire life, has been known for one thing and one thing only, his condition. 38 years. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. For 38 years, this man has been paralyzed. That's not just a long time. That's his entire adult life. It's become his identity. Just stuck in one spot, waiting for something that must have felt like it was never, ever going to happen.
You know, this pool was supposed to be a place of hope. There was this legend, an angel stirs the water, and the first one in gets healed. But I mean, think about it. If you're paralyzed, how are you ever going to be the first one in? It's impossible. So he's just trapped, forced to be a spectator, watching other people maybe get their miracle, knowing it'll never be his turn.
So Jesus walks up to this guy, out of everyone there, and he asks him the very simple, direct question. But the man's answer, it reveals everything. It shows that his physical problem wasn't his biggest problem at all. Jesus just looks at him and asks, "Do you want to be healed?" And you're probably thinking, well, duh, what kind of question is that? He's been there for 38 years. But his response is not what you'd expect. He doesn't say yes. He doesn't even mention his paralysis. Instead, he voices his real agony. He says, "Sir, I have no one." When everyone else rushes for the water, he's left behind. He's totally, completely alone. And that right there, that's the absolute heart of this whole interpretation. The paralysis was awful, for sure, but the real disease, the thing that was truly crushing his spirit for all those years, it was the loneliness. It was the pain of having absolutely nobody. So in response to this heartbreaking cry of isolation, what does Jesus do? You might expect a comforting word, a hand on the shoulder. But nope, he gives a direct, life-altering command. Get up, pick up your mat, and walk. 3 simple commands spoken with total authority. And just like that, bam, the impossible happens. The man is healed. The 38-year wait is over in a single moment. But what's the deal with taking the mat? Why'd he say that? Well, according to this interpretation, the mat is this powerful symbol. It's not just his old bed. It's a physical reminder of his helplessness and a walking testament to the one who rescued him from it. So the guy is healed. Amazing. But his problems aren't quite over. In fact, he walks right into a brand new conflict. And how he handles it tells us so much about what faith in action really looks like. As he's walking away, carrying his mat, he gets stopped by the religious leaders. Now, are they celebrating with him? No way. They are furious. Why? Because it's the Sabbath, and according to their rules, carrying a mat is work, and it was totally forbidden. And his defense is just so simple and perfect. He doesn't argue about the law. He just says, "The man who healed me told me to do it." See, his loyalty isn't to the rules of the people who left him suffering for decades. It's to the person who just changed his entire life in an instant. Well, this just makes the leaders even angrier. They're demanding to know
Who is this person who thinks he has the authority to tell you to break our sacred laws? They want a name.
And here's the kicker. The guy can't answer them. He has no idea who Jesus is. He obeyed a command from a total stranger simply because he experienced that stranger's power. His obedience came before his understanding.
But hold on, the story isn't quite over. Healing the man's legs was just part one. Jesus actually seeks him out again for a second, crucial conversation. Jesus finds him a little later in the temple. Now you gotta remember, as a paralytic, he would have been an outcast, not fully able to worship there. But now, he's no longer on the outside looking in. He's been welcomed back into the community. He's been restored socially, not just physically.
And what Jesus says next is intense. He gives them this chilling warning, "See you are well, sin no more, that nothing worse may happen to you." Whoa. That implies there's a state of being that's actually worse than 38 years of paralysis and loneliness. So, when you put it all together, what's the core message? It's that God meets you wherever you are. He's right there with you in the pool of your suffering, and He's also there waiting for you at the party in your celebrations. The healing He offers isn't just for the body. It addresses the loneliness and goes all the way to the soul. It's complete.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about for ourselves. When you look at your own life, right now, in this season, where are you? Are you celebrating at the party, or are you waiting, hoping for a miracle at the pool?